All right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Beastars, Season 1, Episode 11. Yes, 11.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
After this one, there's only one left. We're almost done with the season, and I'm not ready for...
Hey, Jacob, Season 2's coming.
Yep, that's right. That's right, that helps.
So it's gonna be awesome.
Oh man, we are in a real good part right now. I mean, I feel like it's...
We left on a bit of a cliffhanger.
But...
Haru has not been rescued yet.
And
we have
Bamboo Panda Guy might be
in trouble. Yep. We have Legoshi doing a great job taking care of getting up here, but now we have to get down and then out of here.
Yep.
So that's basically where we're at. The story has gotten a lot simpler in that regard. You know, that the immediate conflict is just get in, get out, get it over with. You know, get it, got it, good. Yeah.
Or does that come after? No, wait.
That might come after actually.
No, I'm sorry. But here we are, and this is happening, and okay, I'm very excited. And how is Louis going to respond to the aftermath of all of this?
Opportunistically, hopefully. Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this now.
I love this opening so much.
Imagine skipping this OP.
No, never. Imagine
spit on you.
Imagine getting to a point where this opening plays in the episode.
What scene would predicate that? Like what scene would?
They actually probably could have done it with Legoshi when he was going up the tower.
Sure. All in, the odds look like a board.
Yeah.
Lifting off like a Boeing. What could the future hold?
Thematically, it would have worked out kind of nicely too because of the action of it and like him,
wonderful,
you know.
my life.
Yeah.
Please could you kiss my name when the music's over? Turn out the lights. It's been such a sweet time. For me, my friend. Let's start the overtime. Going through the night, going through the blue time. You heard that scream and shout in your mind. Going through the shine, go over the shooting stars, and all that was music. And that's called jazz. Yeah, clearly you have not been listening to this enough off recording. Like this one's just one of my favorite new OPs we've been getting.
It's so good.
Oh, Jack? Oh. Yes. Like when this whole thing was going on there, I was like, please, Jack, like just like sniff him out and then like, you know, like bring a posse, you know.
That would be amazing.
He who?
Louis? Is it Louis? Wait.
Marching through the neon lights of summer. Oh, they're talking about Legoshi. Okay. Oh. Oh. This is like that instance of like that empathy and, you know, taking care of someone that's, you know, physically weaker and stuff. Whoa. Oh, Jack. Oh, we're back here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Oh!
Yes!
Whoa! Dude, that... Oh!
How is he keeping his arm from getting snapped off?
Come on. You can do it, Legoshi.
Yeah.
If there was ever a time, it's now. Oh,
jeez, that was lucky. Oh, because he's still refusing to bite him. Like,
yeah. Just come on.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah!
Oh.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, he's too. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Wow.
so good.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, just like in episode 1.
Oh.
But completely
But completely
now.
different, yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. He's just out.
That was the only thing keeping him going.
Oh.
For being born a carnivore. Oh. Yeah.
Wait, they just walk out? There's no way. Oh my god.
No way. Is Panda that badass?
He tied up all of them and knocked them out?
No way.
No.
You are kidding
What
me.
a legend.
I love
What a
it.
mad lad. Is he just watching from on high? Oh, wait. Oh no, this is... Oh. Oh, crap.
Oh no.
Louis?
Yeah! Yes! Yes! Woo! Yes! 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 Yes!
And I'll look down and say,
Oh.
no.
Oh.
Oh my
God. Yes! So awesome!
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh yeah!
Yes. Oh my god. Wow.
Wait. That was a ploy to get them to, like, go to eat him and then he shoots him,
way.
right?
No way, dude. Someone's dying tonight, remember?
No. No.
いいんだ。俺はただ。私なんかを助けるためにこんな。俺はただ。何か食いた。
Oh, that looks so
That
good.
looks real good.
そう。はるちゃんも食べ。しかし17歳とは思えないほど豆。
Ha!
中に非常用のお金し。
That's great.
I'm glad they brought that up. I'm like, wait, who paid for this? They didn't have clothes, you know?
私のことを命がけで助けてくれた彼が目の前で安い焼きそばを食べている。
Oh.
この映像。
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my heart.
今の一番美しい記憶のまま。
I'm gonna eat it with him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
だから電車で帰ろうね。うん。え？終電行っちゃったよ。
Like, well, okay.
じゃん。泊まれる宿をそうか。
Oh. Oh.
はい、レゴシ君。完全にアウトです。高速破りの中でもかなり重い無断外泊よ。
Oh.
たちのルームメイトはとんで
Yeah, because as when you're a carnivore, that's probably a really big deal.
Uh-huh.
ってこれは男子寮にとってレオシ君のリュック
Oy, 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 oy. Yep, yep.
Oh, the
yep.
porn mag!
Yep, yep. Yep.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
これはもう
Oh
疑い
my god.
もう異常で
Ah. Right.
一緒カップルかって書いてあるよ。このホテルにしよっか。
This is a love hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
大丈夫、レゴシ君なら年確されないから。ね
They're
えねえ、どうするの？
walking so quickly. You have the cats or whatever making out.
やっぱり俺野宿するよ。はるちゃんはここに泊まりな。
なんで？
なんでって、はるちゃんさっきまで肉食獣にさ。
でもそこから助けてくれたのはあなたでしょ。何を怖がってるの？あなたライオンのヤクザから私を救ったの？
だから怖いんだ。自分で言うのもなんだけど、俺は多分。
The tail does not lie.
Yeah.
今夜のレゴシ君は
Whoa.
間違いにはならないよ。
Wow.
それだけあなたは偉大なことをしたの。
Oh, dude. She is. Yep. 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 This metaphor, this is so good. Yeah. Oh,
このめちゃくちゃなエスカレーターにしたのは
they created this. Yeah.
この俺だ。てかエスカレーターって何？
Yes. Oh my god. Here we are.
空調下げるよ。狼って暑いのと寒いのどっちに？
枕元にダイヤル。一面の鏡は知るともなく知ってたけど、本当にあるんだな。
カラオケないのか。
Ah, yes, Haru. You're a woman of culture, I see.
We're gonna have an episode at least.
ごめんごめん、反動がすごくて。私の何倍体重あるんだろう。
There's a size difference.
Yep.
He's trembling. Like, oh.
服洗って。
Yes. Get you out of the clothes.
血のついた服で電車乗れないから洗うの。
Yep, yep. Just-
こんなに傷だらけだったの？
oh, what?
君と出会ってからだ。あの日はまだ
Oh, wait. No.
レゴシ君、
あの日から俺のすべてが変わった。君と初めて出会ったのは屋上の庭園じゃない。行動の裏で。
Wow, with the mirror. Oh,
Yep, yep.
Oh,
That's so
this is
good.
So good.
That's so good.
レゴシ君。
She gonna say I knew.
気づかないふりしてたよ。
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
だからますますレゴシ君がわからなかった。
Whoa. But now.
私をゆくゆくを食べるつもりで
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
関心があるのか。
Oh, no, because she enjoys being with you. Oh,
Oh.
wait, what?
ねえレゴシ君、本当の私たちはこの体勢のまま時が止まるか食べるか、あなたが決めるの。
Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
レゴシ君の心臓の音で私まで跳ねちゃいそう。さっきの乱闘より死にそう。レゴシ君が決めるの。
Whoa. That's trust.
俺の片手でほぼ胴体が隠れる。 柔らかいけどたまに奥が硬い。あ、これはあばら？
横になろうよ。
Alright, this is happening.
平気。重くない。
落ち着け俺。傷つけず。
Oh, like with the beetle, you know? Like, just very, very gentle and...
レゴシ君。
Oh.
嘘でしょ。レゴシ君。ごめん。体が勝手に。あなた。ウサギの遺伝子からの子孫。
Oh!
That's
し合う関係だなんて。とんでもない間違いだと。
Oh my god!
Well.
Oh!
okay. All right. Yeah.
And now we go back to this
Well.
OP. Ooh!
That
Wow! Oh my god, I felt like so much happened this episode.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Also, Louis. Frickin' Louis.
Dude,
Like,
Louis could be dead.
I really hope he's not dead. Like, I absolutely love Legoshi and Haru. I absolutely love them. But I feel like this show with the two of them and with Louis in there is
It's
what makes it
like,
so
perfect,
overwhelmingly perfect. Like, and
Yeah.
just wonderful. Like, because it's all that extra
Oh,
complication
dude, he's
and
walking off into the light.
oh
fading
my
away.
god. Oh. But okay, it could also be like a thematic ending of Louis as the kind of person that he was.
True.
Like he might be okay, you know, because I could totally see it being something where he was saying, yeah, come eat me, you know, because I know I'm gonna die, and then he actually like fights back and kills them.
Yeah. But,
You know,
but
oh boy.
Louis, the last part of the ED.
Wow.
Curtain closes on the two
Oh
of their
my God.
relationship. Oh my gosh. Guys, Beastars just has no chill. Beastars just turned things up to 11 in episode 11. And
Yep,
now
uh-huh.
I have to say three things before we get to this discussion.
Yeah.
We have Louis potentially being dead. Like,
I really
until there's a
hope he's
body.
not.
Until there's a body, we
Yep.
can't confirm anything.
Mhm.
Second thing, Haru and Legoshi went to the Love Hotel, and
Mm-hmm.
Legoshi was ready and willing and able to sleep with her. Haru was as well, except for her instincts kicking in and saying
Right.
no at the last possible second. That is the most genius little
So-
scary twist.
Yeah.
But then the third thing
Uh-huh.
is that all of this is happening within the context of Legoshi having finally accepted himself as a wolf.
Yep.
And this
Yep.
is something that, as character development goes, is so powerful to see happening in the story. In addition to the fact that we then get a little bit of a post-rescue epilogue with them talking about this whole thing that just happened.
So like,
So I'm just over the moon with this show at this point. Pun intended.
I kind of want to talk about these in reverse order from the three that you just mentioned. So with the whole thing of Legoshi, you know, like accepting his wolf self. First, that whole fight sequence where like the
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know what it is, man,
Yes.
about I don't know what it is, man, about wolves specifically.
Oh yeah.
But the idea of this final moment being something where he didn't kill the lion,
Yep.
but he did actually be willing to be the wolf that Haru needed at that time.
Yeah.
Is just immensely powerful.
Like the visuals were spectacular.
Oh,
I also
so cool.
just personally
looks so good.
absolutely love wolves. They're
Yeah, I know.
probably my favorite regular animal. Like not going into like
Fantasy
fantastical
stuff,
creatures and stuff
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
I love wolves. I loved when direwolves were brought up in Game of Thrones. I was like, yes.
Yep.
So this here, I love it. And yeah, the fact, like you were saying, that Legoshi used his teeth. He bit him, right? You know, and he bit him in a serious place, but not in a lethal place.
No, he
right?
didn't. He avoided his neck.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because it's showing that Legoshi is
taking on the wolf part of himself, but it is in a controlled way, right? He is finding that balance between the instincts. He might not have it completely yet, but he has made some really, really good progress towards that end, right? But he's still himself. He's still Legoshi. He's not going to get taken over by them. Then we have all the stuff with Haru and Legoshi. And like the fact that they were able to just sort of walk out of there, like the fact that the panda tied up almost all of the lions. Like,
to be fair,
that was awesome.
To be fair,
maybe
does
it was
have
Louis.
To be just him.
Yeah, because he had a gun and everything. He could have just been like, all right,
tie yourselves up.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like,
and then he just walks over and knocks them all in the head.
Oh my god, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to.
And that also brings up, if that's the case, then that doesn't necessarily mean that was Panda Man, which means that Panda Man potentially.
I love how you're calling him Panda Man.
Panda Man, yeah.
Yeah.
He might not be okay.
It's true. He could be dead.
I think he's okay. It seems to be set up that he's okay, but he might not be okay.
Nobody, we're okay.
Right. But the fact that happened in the episode that way, right? That they were able to just leave without, like that. It's awesome because of what other characters would have had to do to set that up. But it also means that we're then able to focus on Haru and Legoshi and the aftermath of that this episode. I was thinking going into this episode that this episode would be basically resolving this thing. And then the last episode, because there's still one more episode, which, what? And, all right. But that basically the last episode would be Legoshi and Haru and maybe Louis, kind of all coming to terms with what happened and where they're at and, and things like that in the aftermath.
That seems way too happy right now where the show's
right. Right. This is but so
okay, can I take over now? Okay,
Go for it.
So here's the thing with Legoshi and Haru having this moment here is that Haru was not doing this, I think, out of some kind of I need to reward him. But that was present.
Yes.
There was a moment in the episode where she brought up the idea of he's not going to just let this, be like the last kind of thing with this.
Yeah, when the whole thing with the noodles and the last train already left and it's like, Yeah,
it's something where he's like, you sure are diligent, you have the emergency money.
Yeah.
Their lives are started to find the boy risk. Yeah, he's cheap. Yeah, treasure this sight my whole life. That was beautiful.
That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
He won't let me end this so easily.
Right.
That line. Now, I think that there's a couple ways that can interpret that, but I just wanted to bring up the idea of it being something where a lot of times in her interactions in the past, she's felt like she needed to use sex in some ways to
be on equal footing.
Yeah, to be on equal footing in order to have some more influence or what have you in the situation of the relationship dynamic. But however, with this thing here, she wants to treasure this moment, but she also does need to. She does need to end it because she is nervous. She's a little scared, understandably. When they end up going to the Love Hotel, and there's the kind of the awkwardness of where she can tell that he brought up, like, I'm in a male mode right now. Which is, okay, that is such an awkward guy thing to say. And then the fact that the show brought up the escalator analogy of how he's like, aren't there all these levels we're supposed to wander around
that made me think of Kaguya season 2 when there's the bullet trains, that they're all on and it's just, that was wonderful.
Oh my gosh. So Legoshi in this instance here is so just overwhelmed with the whole instance of what just happened. And Haru's even more overwhelmed in that she doesn't know necessarily the next thing that makes sense to do. So she's kind of falling back in some ways.
To habit.
To habit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's only because they weren't able to get on the train.
Right.
So with them going here, Haru seemed to be willing to actually have this happen. And this was more of something where she wanted to understand a little bit more of where he was coming from. And once he starts to be a little bit vulnerable and share what actually happened, and she's like, yeah, I kind of already knew that.
like she suspected a while ago. Yeah, it figures, it makes sense, but she doesn't understand him, and yet she's willing to trust him enough to have him make the choice here. And this is something that I think the show is tapping into about relationships that is really, really smart. Oftentimes in relationships, both parties are not at the same place with regards to how they're approaching the relationship.
Yeah.
It's very rare, especially near the beginning, that they're both coming at it from the same angle.
Right.
So she basically says, I am going to adjust to your angle or perspective that you're taking with this relationship. She kind of put into the binary terms of either eat me or
sleep with
me. But what she is doing there is saying, I trust you enough to be able to make the first choice with regards to how the relationship moves.
Right.
She set herself into a position that she felt like she was comfortable with his choice, whatever it was. However, she would be lying to say that she wasn't nervous. And I loved that the genius of this was that she was so nervous, just like he was, that her instincts took over at the last second of the episode.
Right.
To, in some ways, punish her for making the choice to let him make the choice.
Yeah.
That is such a relationship, just brilliant thing where you think you're willing to be completely vulnerable with someone, and then when they start making the decision, the act of them making the decision when you're in that totally vulnerable state still freaks you out.
Yep.
Because your physical body is the thing that is actually in control. It is not going to be your free will.
When instincts are brought up in this show, I feel like there's the times that it's more of the literal, straightforward instincts, but as the general idea of instincts, I feel like it's oftentimes a sort of representation of the fact that humans are emotional creatures, right?
Totally.
So things aren't always so cut and dry. They're not so easy. And in things like this, getting scared, getting nervous and things like that, that's very normal, right?
Very normal.
And in this situation here, when you were talking about her whole thing of like being nervous about him actually having the decision and things like that, that very much felt to me like it reminded me of when I had like first learned to drive, right? And I started driving and I got used to driving. And then I was in the car when other people were driving. And all of a sudden, because I had gone through all the things of keeping track of how to do certain things and other things and all that stuff, I got a lot more nervous when someone else was behind the wheel because it was wait, are they going to, because, before then I didn't really think about it much, but then it was like, oh, are they going to brake at the right time? Are they going to, do all these things? Do they see that, car pulling up?
Start holding on to the thing up here.
Exactly, right. Yeah, all that stuff, right? Because it's just, you make the decision, you get in the car, there's, when you think about it logically, you totally trust the person driving, and yet,
Well, that's also an area where I think a lot of people don't fully trust people, just because of how easy it is to completely blunder not only your life, but everyone else in the car's life.
Make a simple mistake.
Not just because you're the one that makes a mistake, but because someone else makes a mistake in the road and you're not able to react quickly enough to it.
Right.
And that's
it's complicated.
That's why I think your metaphor is really good, is that when you get into a car and drive, you are making yourself vulnerable. Whether you are aware of it or not, every other driver out there can hurt you.
Right.
In this case here, she is choosing a specific person that has the opportunity to hurt her quite a bit. But because there's relationship involved, it's her choice to say, I am willing to risk that because I do care about you, but also because this is my choice. This is something that I can just decide, yes, you, Legoshi, I am totally okay with choosing you in this instance here. So it empowers Legoshi as the driver of his own car to basically go, oh my God, I could accidentally run her over here.
Yeah. The whole thing of mind the clause. And it's
clause.
like, oh yeah, right.
There's all these things that he has to be hypersensitive towards. The car analogy also works really well if there are passengers. The idea of when you're driving alone, you tend to drive a little bit more reckless than you do when you're driving with someone else in the car.
Right.
That is just a thing that I've observed within not only myself, but a lot of other people that I'm driving with as they bring it up, and they're like, I am driving. I just noticed I'm driving a lot slower and a lot more conscientious now because you're in the car. I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But then I'm like, wait, how reckless do you drive when I'm not here? And then it starts this whole conversation. It's kind of interesting.
Right.
But this is one where there's so many ways that can be looked at. That can be looked at this from Haru's perspective, because she's not completely free from her instincts in this case. And that show made a point to say, and you guys, the audience, have to be made aware that she's not completely free of that. In a very overt way by having this cliffhanger at the end of the episode.
Exactly. And it's a fantastic cliffhanger. It's an amazing cliffhanger. I'm really glad there's an episode after this, because I would be so pissed if this was the last episode of the season. Oh my God.
That just means that if anything, there's going to be a bigger cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah. But there are a few things that I really liked about how the cliffhanger was built up to. One, the whole thing of he won't let me end this so easily. That line, it's something where it then sets in me an apprehension of, I don't want them to sleep together tonight. I don't think this is the right time for it necessarily, because it seeds the idea of that Haru, you don't have to sleep with Legoshi in order to be on equal footing with him. I know that that's what you do with people in general, and that's helped you in the past, but you don't have to do that here, right? He will, like, in his mind, you guys are on equal footing, even though there's the whole wolf rabbit thing that makes things complicated.
But
right?
let's just bring that up. They're not on equal footing. That's the whole point of this.
Right. That's why it makes it awkward and bumbling and all of that.
And her
stuff.
Instincts flare up.
Right. They're both not on equal footing in very different ways.
Yeah,
there are ways in which each of them.
Yeah, that's relationships. They're also almost will never be entirely equal footing with regards to how the relationship is approached.
And then you learn how to complement each other.
People. And in this instance here, my literal thing I was bringing up before the episode was like, watch, they're probably going to sleep together by the end of the season. That's going to be like the last scene.
Yeah.
And then I was like, immediately after that, also like, but I hope that doesn't happen. Like, I really want them to take a lot more time to get to know each other. And yes, you can sleep together without sleeping together. So yeah, I know that's actually a really like virgin thing to say, but like in this instance, it might be the right call.
Well, and one of the other things that I really appreciated is that like with how Legoshi is going about this, because he's not sure if this is like okay and everything, and even though there's the escalator and everything, and he's like, whoa, hold on, like what's happening here?
He's feeling a bit vulnerable.
He's feeling a bit vulnerable, right? Because he's not used to being vulnerable, much. Because even though it's something where he's always lived with his head down, shown deference.
That's not vulnerability.
That is not vulnerability.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So the fact that he ended up telling her, I was the one who almost ate you that night.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's like, yes, awesome, right? Because that needs to be talked about. It needs to be understood and brought out into the open air, not just for Haru's sake, but for Legoshi's sake. Because in order for this to be a positive thing for both of them, when it happens, it needs to be a vulnerable thing. And that was something that he was still holding on to.
Yeah.
Then it starts, and it seems to be going decently well, about as well as it can. And then we see the things that we'd seen the seedlings of beforehand in full force, and that Haru still has a journey of her own to go on, which is the one thing that I was like, with the show as a whole, that was the one thing I wanted more of. I wanted more focus on Haru because, Legoshi and Louis really took the spotlight, literally and figuratively, So, and given that they had a very clear way in which they were grappling with their instincts and things like that, and choice and what they were going to decide, I wanted to see that more from Haru. And the fact that we just got this amazingly awesome, catharsis with Legoshi and Louis with answering to that question, then bringing up that
Haru's avoided that question, right? So now it's like, yes, of course she has, right? This is something that needs to be addressed in order for them to be able to positively move forward. But this is still progress because she's being vulnerable about the fact that she hasn't moved forward in that area, right? It's the acknowledgement of the problem, right? Even if it's a very visceral acknowledgement of the problem that kind of disturbed a moment, but
Right.
yeah. So,
But yeah. That's that whole thing.
That's that whole thing.
Louis. So, exuberant excitement aside regarding the fact that he came here. Hype regarding the fact that he killed this guy.
Yeah.
Also the fact that he saved Legoshi. All this aside, this is a terrifying development for his character. Because he said, throw away your honor and pride and escape your misery. And then he reveals who he is, product ID number 4. Take,
He's
eat
vulnerable.
everything.
Yeah.
He throws it all away and he laughs. And this laugh was the most heartbreaking thing.
I know.
Because I saw it as someone who was finally free. And in his freedom, he basically saw death. He saw his end. He saw basically either a transformation into whoever he'll become, which is something completely different, or his actual death. And I want to bring up the idea that this has been the big contradiction within Louis that I love was every time he was in the presence of a carnivore, we saw his PTSD kicking in and his instincts overriding his will in his interactions with them. And thus, I think he wanted to spend more time with Legoshi in order to not only get to understand his contradiction because he was fascinated by him, but also to attempt to overcome that part within him that recoiled when in the presence of a carnivore. Like that instinct there. Yeah. And then in this moment here, he killed a rotten adult, as he referred to them, but then he said, I'm done fighting rotten adults. What's exciting about this is that if his path up until now has been one that was defined by rotten adults, not only the mayor, but maybe even his father. Yeah. His father. Right. And also the rotten adults that raised him in that environment before his father came along. He basically just said, I don't know what the future will hold for me, but I'm going to then surrender myself. Maybe. This is if he didn't go and then just kill them all. Because I want to say, he said he was done fighting rotten adults, which means I think he did let himself get taken by them, but I don't think they would eat him necessarily. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I think if anything, they might make it more an example of him. And then he'll get thrown into the deepest dark that he will not recover from. We get a full Griffith, This very much felt exactly. I was going to bring up not Griffith necessarily, but I love that connection there. This is something that feels almost akin to an origin story of someone's transformation to something that is born out of pain. Right. And I really, really, in my own sadistic way, can't wait to see it. Yep. Because I don't think it's that he's going to die here. I don't think so either. Because that would be a third of this show just gutted from it. It would be so sad. But Juno could take his place, though. Maybe. But I'm just saying. Okay. But okay. So here's my brilliant theory. Yeah. Legoshi is going on a transformation, or Louis. Everyone's going on a transformation, right? That's the point. This show is about that character development that they're all going through. Yeah. But one of the things that this show also displays is that it is not a journey with an end, right? It is a constant thing where they are growing as people, right? Of course. New demons to face and that rear their ugly heads and all sorts of things. So what's your point, though? My point is that
even if Louis does take a darker transformation,
Sure.
that won't be the end of it.
Well, of course, yeah.
No. But I think that is important to mention because with even though there is a part of Louis that is breaking here, that is something that is necessary, even if it were to end up being a good transformation. And I think that like poetically, I could totally see his transformation being something where it is the romance of it is broken, right?
Yes.
The idealism of it is stripped away.
Yeah.
But he still goes on his journey.
Sure.
Right?
So an example of this would be he saw that he had a progression that he needed to go on with regards to carnivores, but not only that, with, say, Legoshi, for instance.
Yeah.
He then got impatient with how slow things were going.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to kickstart this process in a very painful way because I can handle it. But you know what? I don't care if I can't handle it. Make it be as painful or horrendous as possible. And then the act of saying, devour all of me, is saying, I don't need, like you said, I'm casting my honor and my pride aside there.
Right.
To escape my misery. Now let me make sure I've got this line down pat here. It's like, I'm weak and small, I can guarantee the taste. Leave nothing but the horns behind. Show your appreciation as you eat me. Hold on. The line he says actually before that. Right. Here we go. I'm fed up with fighting rotten adults. Throw away your honor and pride and escape your misery. So I think his misery is the idea that he's had this fear, this horror that he's been living with essences of, an essence of this whole time. And he's basically saying, I want you just to devour the whole thing. Take it all. And
reduce me to a blank slate.
Reduce me to nothing except the antlers.
Right.
And this is the part that I want to maybe go a little bit too metaphorical with this. Is that his antlers are in some ways his main sign of strength.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen the whole thing of him having to have them replaced, and there's that sign of vulnerability when he doesn't have them.
Yep.
But it's also just, in a realistic sense, it's not something that can be consumed. So maybe there's two ways of looking at this, is that the metaphor is, I want to hold on to my strength, just that. But I don't care about who I am in my ego.
Yeah.
But I will not give up, basically, in this. That's the antlers bit. The other way I think it could be looked at is that the antlers are something that he's actually casting aside. If he gets consumed, the antlers won't be connected to him anymore. And all those things that connect him back to his father, for instance, all those things that he's been given, all that stuff, he's saying, I am separating from that.
Right.
Whatever I'm reborn as, it won't be that.
And because he will be reborn. That's the thing.
Oh, but he could be dead, dude.
He could be dead. He could be dead. And maybe the leave everything but the take everything but the antlers is a way of him basically saying, it's sort of his last middle finger to the world, of being like, make sure that people know that it was me.
Yeah.
Right? That the son of the powerful man, the one who was going to be the Beastar, the one who had it all and everything, that's the person who got devoured. Right? Like, I could see that being it. I think that's the least likely of the options. I hope it's not what happened,
Sure.
But I could see that happening, and that's sort of what his words mean if he is actually going to die here, because he's got a plan like that.
I just gotta say, this episode was phenomenally exciting.
So good.
Just
oh my
so
god!
Exciting. It felt like an actual finale.
Yeah.
But the fact
there's
that
another episode
is really good. I love that. Also, we're well aware that there's another season coming, so that's also exciting. I will say that the thing that's made me so much enjoy Louis is his contradictions, the things about him that just don't add up because he needs to preserve basically both sides of himself. But if this death, if you will, is basically him saying, I don't care about one side or the other, just take it all. There's the there's the very much the transformative aspect of that, which is, you know, like he's molting, he's going to shed his skin, he's going to reveal who he truly is. If we're going to go into theory mode for a second here, and if you're fine with this, there's a completely different theory that they could take here that is so far different from any of the two main things that we think about here.
All right.
It's not about whether or not he lives or dies.
Okay.
But it's about the fact that maybe from the Leo group, is that what they're called? The Leo?
Yeah. They don't have a leader right now?
They don't have a leader right now.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
And
yeah.
I don't want to... I don't want to say that the show is kind of debating us, but if this theory goes about, what they would have to do on some level is later, who knows when, basically show him then going and joining the criminal underworld.
Sure.
And becoming an element of it.
Yeah, we see
ruling over carnivores. And there's so much in that is wrapped in his ego in a way, though, to the point where I don't think it fits because of him saying, you know, cast aside your honor and pride.
Right. He's got to go down before going back up.
Right. But there's another line that he says that I had just remembered when we were discussing this here, is that...
there is no salvation in this world.
Not only is there no salvation in this world, but he mentions something about, like, falling into to darkness or something like that. Hold on, let me see. I'm almost there's no salvation to be had in this world. I'll melt into the darkness. This part here, this shot of him just standing there with the gun smoking out and stuff like that, and him being like, I'll melt into the darkness. You could say that he'll melt into the void where he'll be forgotten and become nothing.
I think that's part of it. Theory, because he also needs to escape from here if he's going to live. You know,
right? That could be part of it, where he just jumps out into the, you know,
deers can jump. You know,
or
deer.
Yeah. But if he goes the other angle of, I will become the darkness in that regard, then this is not the Joker's origin story. This is, you know, the mob boss's origin story.
And I could totally see something where at the end of the next episode is like a season cliffhanger. We see Louis, like, you know, in a more established state, let's say, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it's about how all these characters are being Beastars in their own way. Yeah. Where they basically defy some aspect of their instincts, but also embrace another part of it.
Right. Because thematically, they all died tonight.
Sure.
Louis, definitely, right? He consciously is like, yep, this is it. You know, Legoshi, right? And Haru
accepted that she basically could die here.
Well,
in a literal sense.
There's the literal sense of that too. But then there's also the idea that she was forced to face her death, essentially, that she had been sort of not looking in the eye up till now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what she does from that moving forward, you know, so it's a bit different than it is for like Legoshi and
it's
Louis.
A bit different, yeah.
But yeah,
I think the way that you can look at it is that hers will be something that's completed in the next episode because she resisted at the last possible second, which has to be resolved at some point. So they'll probably give a little bit of an end cap for that in the next episode and then show us where it's going to progress in future stuff. But y'all, Beastars, it's a hell of a show.
Oh my God.
There's so much going on. We didn't even talk about the fact that there's going to be real school consequences and stuff with regards to when any of them come back. So there's that. Jack, such a precious boy. We didn't even mention the Goliath beetle or the rhinoceros beetle little thing there, but there's some really cool.
That could be the one that died. Yeah.
Well, that was a thing. Yeah. But also just the elements of it being something where it's okay to be in that position where you're so much more powerful than something if you rein it in and control it and use it for the benefit of the other. Even if on their angle, you don't know whether it's just tedious for them. Like the idea of the rhinoceros beetle climbing along his hand and being just completely at the whim and will and
Right.
mercy of this gigantic creature. And then when he brings his fingers in, the
freezes,
beetle
yeah.
freezes in like, wait, am I about to die?
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, there's some cool stuff.
And that's a great representation with the whole relationship between Legoshi and Haru, because that's where the communication comes into play, right? To see where the other person's at so that they can put their best foot forward, but also have an open ear for the other person's needs.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. Pretty cool. If you're interested, it's on Amazon. The link is in the description down below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.